Do you think wills are more fair than interstate, or interstate is more fair than the will?
No, the will.
I want to ask that as well. Which one is better?
The will is way more fair because you can do in the will what is dictated in interstate, but interstate won't represent what you could have put in the will.
Isn't
the
interstate
will is way
more fair because it's unemotional, objective? When you might ngithanda lo sisi more or ingane, interstate is like, this is what's fair.
Interstate is benefiting that man who has children all over outside of his marriage and wants all of them to inherit without him having to choose his kids. But will allows you to choose who represents your estate. If your family is fighting, your estate can get stuck at step number 1, where no executor is being appointed because bonke bafuna ukuba ma executors. You must represent your estate. You built it. You can't expect someone who wrote that you don't know represent what you've built because wena usabu ukuba straightforward as a man. If you can't present being straightforward as a male, then sokwenze njani ngophela ufuna ukulida abantu.
Interstate is more fair if your life is messy. A will is better if you're more intentional about your life.
Can I ask you something just quickly? Everything we asked has a lot
just
of
quickly.
components. Sorry.
Collect.
Where's the best place to do a will? Because I always hear people, don't do it with the bank. The banks are da da da.
I love your question.
What is the best way to do a will? Do you write it, put it in under the bed, you die, they take it out?
Yeah.
What's the best way?
Well, look, the reason the banks are so popular with the whole will thing is they've driven, as long as you have a bank account, they will come for you, tell you it's free. That's the advantage of doing your wills with the banks. It's free. But the banks currently, the atmosphere of estate administration isn't great. It's if you go on Hello Peter, the complaints are ridiculous.
Okay.
There's no personal feel to that estate. It's just estate administration for the sake of the book.
Okay.
So that's where the problem. So the will is free and easy, but the estate administration is not so free and easy.
Sure.
Whereas the wills you do with an attorney who might charge you a fee, I think it's currently 500 Rand. It's definitely compliant with the Wills Act, and the bank doesn't have to be an executor. And the other thing, the reason the bank the will is free with the bank is because the banks are appointing themselves as executors. So you can do the will with the bank if you want to do a free will, but then you insist that your child be appointed as a co-executor with the bank. Co-executor.
So when you do a will with the
bank, hold
bank,
the bank accountable.
So are you saying that by default, when you do a will with the bank, they are an executor? Unless you say,
That's why it's free. That's the whole operating model of it.
That's how they're going to make their money back.
Yeah, they make their money back later when they administer your estate. They forfeit 500 Rand today, they get 420,000 later.
Okay, so you're saying the best one is with the lawyer? You were explaining that?
So I was saying if you don't have money, you can do the will with the bank. And then you can put your family member as a co-executor, option number 1. You can
or you should?
You should.
That's your advice.
Thank you for clarifying. You should. If you're going to do your will with the bank, insist on having a co-executor.
Okay, sharp.
Second is every September in South Africa is Free Wills Month. From 1 September until end of September. Free wills. The Master of the High Court drafts wills for free. You can appoint anyone as executor there. The lawyers, if you go onto the Legal Practitioners Council website, you'll see a list of lawyers that do wills for free in September. You can go and do your will there and appoint anyone as executor. But always do it with an attorney because you must grow a relationship with your attorney while you're living so that when you're dead, your attorney represents your wishes to the T. So that's where you work with the attorney and you can either appoint that attorney as executor and your family member as a co-executor or only appoint your family member. But remember, when it comes to estate administration time, vele that attorney is going to be needed because your family member can't administer. Yeah.
I just want to add this, and this is one of the sad things about African/Black people.
Yeah.
Many of us are friends with lawyers and accountants, but we don't trust each other. Because the lawyer is actually meant to be your mate. And the accountant is meant, but we'd rather go get Ungamla somewhere, India somewhere that is not connected to us because we feel they're more professional.
Our privacy and more professional, yeah. And also, Labo Mangamla, they use each other. They don't pay for estate costs over and above the fact that they cater for those costs anyway. Okay. Right. So step number 7 is the approval of the liquidation and distribution account by the Master of the High Court, And step number 8 is the advertisement of this account. Section 35 adverts.
Section 35 adverts.
Yeah, we
advertisement of
the account, the liquidation and distribution account. Now, the purpose of this advert.
This one is problematic.
The purpose of this advert is if when you're reporting the estate, you hid some children, they can come. And by the way, just to add to the question you asked earlier, even if Ubaba only puts his favorite children on the will, the children that are not chosen can still claim maintenance against his estate. So if you hide them, they can show up at step number 8 and say, wait, don't finish estate, Baba. I'm Zola. I was left out. I have a maintenance claim. This is proof that he took care of me. I want to claim from his estate. And that's where SARS will come in if you didn't do your taxes and stop the estate. So that's why it's important to follow every step before you get to advertisement of the account. And then step number 9.
This gets advertised where?
The local newspaper and in the government gazette.
Where they're going to see my money.
They're going to see that your account is laying for inspection and they're going to say which office. Anyone can walk and read it. Anyone can go through. You can go look at the liquidation and distribution account of Nelson Mandela. It includes everything.
How? Well, it's a public.
These are the things that...
that is the point of it.
So these are my timers that keep buying newspapers and Tina, we think they're looking at sports results.
But
As this notice of creditors and this advertisement of Ellen Dude.
Which estate am I benefiting from?
But why do you make it public?
The people's details won't be in the newspaper. The newspaper will tell you where the actual account is lying for inspection, which is usually at the master's office or the local magistrate's court. It'll give a name. It'll say... I don't like using people's names as examples. It'll say John Doe has died.
Okay.
His account is now ready for inspection. It is laying for inspection at the Master of the High Court, 66 Marshall Street, Johannesburg, 2010. Go and read it.
Anyone can go.
Anyone.
Impilo yami la iyakhona. Sodla khona imali la.
Uhambe ufunda indaba zabantu.
Sofuna indaba zabantu ukuthi imali yabo soyithola ngoba uJohn Doe ngiyamazi umfazi wakhe uDoe ukuthi
uzo inherita 100.
Awuthi ngisondele
100. That's true.
Okay. All right.
Step number 9 is the actual distribution. What does the distribution entail? Transfer of the movable property as well as the last cost, which most family homes or the beneficiaries of family homes can't afford, which is called property transfer costs.
Hey.
So remember that 1 million rand house?
Yeah.
A lot of people keep confusing transfer duty and transfer costs.
Emma, wait, you have to pause right there. Because now I'm learning something I've never learned before. Because I keep asking questions. And every time I speak about property, because I found it's like properties under this amount don't attract. But then people still pay something. And I'm like...
Yeah, a lot of people confuse that.
The difference between transfer duties and transfer costs when it comes to property.
Yes. So, in a deceased estate, you don't pay transfer duty at all. You inherit the property free from tax because transfer duty is the tax element of dealing with the property.
Yes.
Transfer duty is paid to SARS based on the value of the property when you are buying a property. In other words, you're about to take ownership of a property, so you must pay SARS for that privilege.
Okay.
And it's a scalable, it's counted based on the value of the property. Now, not recently, like a few years ago, it was published that if a property, a immovable property, a house or a farm, is below the value of 1 million rand, you don't pay transfer duty. You don't pay SARS for that privilege of owning a property below 1 million rand.
That's what I know.
Yes, okay. But you still pay transfer costs because the attorney must transfer the property to
from
you.
One person to
and
the
you
other.
Must pay the attorney. They're not going to do it for free just because you're not paying SARS.